Big Poof is the first to experience the intense molt that, according to Morning Chores, is called a hard molt. Hard molt is where they lose essentially all of their wing feathers within a very short period of time. So Big Poof lost a majority of her very large feathers within a 2 to 3 day period. And since then, she's still been losing feathers that are relatively large, but they aren't the dominant feathers on the wing. They're more like a supporting feather. And they gave a couple of reasons that could contribute to whether they have a hard molt or a soft molt. And those are things such as the state of the feathers, the available protein in their diet, and the start of the molt date. Typically, most ducks, all ducks, will lose their feathers twice a year. Not necessarily all of their feathers, but they do lose all of their feathers at least once a year. In a soft molt, they can lose their feathers more gradually, whereas in a hard molt, they're losing a majority of their wing feathers, if not all of their wing feathers, within a very short period of time, several weeks typically. And it can take them up to 2 months to regrow all of their feathers. And during that period of time, they are not able to fly, which is something that we realized with Big Poof, because she had been able to fly out of the pools, and after she lost her really big wing feathers, she was kind of whining around a little bit because she couldn't fly out of the pool, so we'd have to make a little ramp for her. But the type of molt that they can experience, there are a couple of factors that come into play. The state of their feathers can be one factor. We did have a hard winter where they had a bunch of ice crystals forming on the ends of their feathers, and they were constantly picking them off, so that kind of deteriorated the state of their feathers. It also is dependent on their available protein. I don't know if that makes them more prone to a hard molt or a soft molt if they have higher levels of protein. I've been giving them more bugs lately because it is such an energy intensive process for them to grow feathers. They say that it is even more energy intensive than for them to produce eggs. So, and I kind of liken duck molting to having, maybe some festering wounds all over your arms for several months. It's not necessarily going to be the same every single year. It can vary from year to year and also from duck to duck. So there's really a lot of variables that come into play in determining how your duck is going to molt. We're still learning. I don't know if Little Poof will experience the same type of hard molt. She is just starting to lose her larger dominant wing feathers. She's only lost one really big one so far that I've noticed. Maybe more. Her wing feathers are starting to grow in. They are starting to break. The feathers come in and almost like a spear through their skin that are kind of encapsulated by some sort of a membrane that dries and flakes off over time. Yes, we're looking at you. Can you do it? Can you get out? Good job. Yeah, but her feathers are starting to poke through those cuticle beds, I guess, is maybe how you call them. It's kind of like how a nail is joined into our skin, but then they have the whole feather protruding from it. And it's also similar to a very large hair coming out of a follicle. So